Hello and welcome to my weather forecast. Today's video I will be focusing my attention on the massive winter storm for the Northeast as they will get buried with snowfall here this weekend. The GFS model showing some heavier snowfall potential here for the Northeast today, and this is for a couple inches of snow this system will be pushing out. The system I'm keeping my eye on is going to be taking shape here in the Southeast. A northern stream shortwave and a southern stream shortwave will actually phase in the Southeast United States and move up the East Coast and produce up to a foot or so of snow across the interior Northeast. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. The GFS here has the systems phasing here in the southeast, rain, heavy thunderstorms down here into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and the Florida Panhandle. Snowfall and heavy snow at that will be taking shape here across the Appalachians, eastern and central Tennessee up through Kentucky, eastern Ohio, western portions here of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and on up into the Northeast. And this is on 6 a.m. on Saturday, and this will just only continue. The low will continue to deepen as it pushes to the north and east, as it looks like it'll trek here up toward eastern Maine. So the Northeast, a lot of the Northeast actually will have up to a foot of snow potential, and heavy snow will still be flying around 6 p.m. here on Saturday, according to the GFS, around here eastern New York, eastern Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, near Boston, maybe down toward New York City, and really heavy snow here across portions of western Maine and portions getting down into Vermont and New Hampshire and maybe northern Massachusetts, as they will have snowfall rates potentially in the order of 1, 2, maybe even 3 inches per hour. So some very heavy snowfall, definitely a possibility. And then this storm system will move out here around 7 a.m. with some lingering flurries and snow showers here 7 a.m. on Sunday. Switching over to the Canadian model here, you can see same kind of thing. A little bit of snow here today, a couple inches, and with that storm system moving out. And then you can see the northern stream shortwave, southern stream shortwave getting together here and phasing off the southeast. And same thing, heavier thunderstorms across Georgia, Panhandle, Florida, and the Carolinas. Heavier snow getting it together. This is around noon here on Saturday, around much of Pennsylvania, much of New York State, and West Virginia, as they could still see snowfall rates 1, 2, maybe 3 inches per hour in localized spots. And this will only deepen and continue to deepen as it pushes toward northeast Maine, and with some lingering snow showers here as we head toward midnight. A little bit of some timing issues with the storm. This model seems to kick the storm out faster. The GFS seems to kick the storm out slower, and that does affect the snowfall amount forecast a little bit. But generally, I think a foot of snow is on the way for much of the Northeast here. And I want to show you, let's go back, some very strong winds are going to be here also coming with the storm, which is going to bring another hazard. You can see the storm, as it deepens, will be producing wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour, potentially in localized spots here across the Northeast. Sustained winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour will be screaming in from the north and west from the storm system. So some very, very strong winds, and that will only blow the snow around. So we could be talking about localized blizzard-like or whiteout conditions across much of the Northeast for a period here, especially as we head into overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. I think the worst of the wind will be here taking shape across that. The Canadian model is still showing that wind too across the Northeast, not as extreme with the wind, but still showing wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour out of the north and west. So that will still be enough to blow the snow around in a big way. So do be on the lookout for that, especially if you are traveling. I do discourage travel, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning across much of the Northeast, because that snow will be blowing around. It'll be hard to see in spots, and it'll also here be piling up very quick with the snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour. Now I'm going to switch over to the Canadian model. I'll give you kind of a broad brush view of the snowfall forecast across the Northeast. The pinks and purples here are actually snowfall of 6 to 9 inches worth. You get into here the maroon colored or red colors. That's where you get a foot of 10 to 12 to even 13 inches of snow across some of these areas. And then you get into northern Maine where these brighter pinks are. You can actually see snowfall amounts that could be closing in here even on a foot and a half, up to about 18 inches of snow, at least with this your European forecast model. So it tends to be pretty regarded guarded for snowfall amounts. The European has been performing very well this year, so I do think the confidence is rather high on a significant snowfall for the north and east. Now let's zoom in a little bit closer to show you what I'm talking about here. You can see Pennsylvania, you can see a foot of snow might be on the way for parts of the area, but generally across Pennsylvania and portions here of New York into portions even of northern New Jersey, Connecticut, western Massachusetts. Generally, I think an 8 to 12 inch snow is a very likely possibility. And then as you move up to the north and east here into eastern portions of New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, and then getting into much of northern Maine, that's where you could see totals of about 12 to 18 inches plus, and maybe localized spots getting up here towards Caribou, maybe even closing in on 20 inches of snow. Very sharp cutoff here into eastern Maine. That is due to the warmer air being punched into the storm. So where it's warmer, they're not going to have much in the way of snowfall. Maybe some ice potential along this gradient, and then some rain into eastern Maine. So they're not going to have a lot of time to see a lot of snow, but maybe some snow on the back end of that as it pushes out. And just imagine here a very big 8 to 12 inches with maybe even spots getting close to 20 in localized spots here, even into northern and northwestern Maine up toward Caribou, and getting down here into portions of Vermont and New Hampshire, localized up to 18 inches. And that could really blow around with the wind. So a lot of wind with this, a lot of snow with this. So travel, I would think, would be very difficult, if not impossible, especially as you get up here into Maine with all that wind around. And the GFS, we'll switch over to that, and it's not as extreme with the snowfall amounts, but it does give you the same general picture and very much the same location where the snowfall will be flying around here. So 6 to 10 inches here across portions of Pennsylvania getting into New York, maybe localized 12 inches on this model getting up here into Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Maine. But I think, though, the snowfall in my forecast, I'd say I would go 6 to 10 inches here across much of central and western Pennsylvania into New York State. And then I would go 10 to about 15 inches across much of northeastern New York State through much of Vermont, New Hampshire, western Maine. Localized spots up to 20 inches, I think, as we head up into northern Maine here, where the storm deepens and gets a little bit stronger. So remember to subscribe to my channel and like my video, and if you have any comments, I will be available to answer those. And I will also be putting out another video after this of a very big warm-up on the way for much of the country as we head toward the middle and end of March. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate it.